So hey, hello everyone. So in this video we are going to see about the types of CSS in HTML. So there are basically three types of CSS. So you can't say it as types, but you can distinguish CSS based on how they are used and how they are implemented. So based on the implementation, they can be classified into three types as inline CSS, internal CSS, and external CSS. So we are going to see how they function, and with examples I'm going to code it live. So before going into the video, please do subscribe and support my channel. It's free to subscribe and it takes no time and it means a lot to me. So please do subscribe my channel. And now let's go to the video. So currently I have an empty HTML file. I have just title and an empty body over here. Okay, so first type where we will see about inline CSS. Okay, so inline CSS is done by using the style attribute. It is not the style tag, it is by using a style attribute. So first let me put a paragraph. So para I will put and I will type inline CSS. Okay, so as I told you earlier, every para or heading tag has this style attribute. So it's just style. Okay, as you can see, a style, and here we will get a list of options for styling. So I will put font size 30 and another attribute. So font with this font weight, font flex, so many options are there. So I will go for font family and I will just select something, and okay, I've selected something, so it's such a big thing. And you can also change the color. Just put a semicolon over here, and you have the color option over here. So color I will change it as red. Okay, so as you can see, so now if I just save it, and this is my types of CSS. Okay, and as you can see, we are getting inline CSS. So this CSS is basically we are not using the style tag or we are using any CSS .css file. We are directly giving CSS inside our HTML tag. So this type of CSS is using the CSS is known as inline CSS. So this same code can be applied for a heading tag also. So just put h1 to h6. You can apply this, and I'm a heading like that. Just type something, and you can just copy this piece of code. Okay, I will stop with this color. Okay, no need to waste time. Just paste it over here. So as you can see here, just double quotes is okay. So now as you can see here, I have put the same tag for editing. It doesn't show any error. So now just save it and just refresh your page. As you can see here, we are getting the style in for our heading also. So that is what inline CSS does. Now let's jump over to the second type. Second type is nothing but the internal CSS. Okay, so internal CSS are the same thing, but we will be using all these attributes, okay, by using a class or ID. Okay, so basically class or ID is used to uniquely identify a particular HTML tag. So now first I will delete this one. Okay, I have now successfully deleted, and I have deleted this also. Okay, so now if I just save it and I will just refresh it. Okay, as you can see here, it has become normal. Okay, so now if I just go over here, you can put it anywhere. I will put it over next to the title. So it's going to be the style property. Okay, style and close style, and inside this we will be putting our CSS code by using the class and ID format. So for example, if you want to, basically if you have basic idea of CSS, you will be understanding what I am going to do. So just type body and just open bracket, means here we can add style or add some decorating properties to our body, like body background color. So as you can see here, these many attributes there. So if I just type background color and I am change it to some aqua, something like that, save it, and now our background will be changed to blue. So boom. So this is what internal CSS means. Internal CSS is basically writing our CSS code by referring to the tag name or by using ID or class inside the style tag. Okay, this is what internal CSS means. For example, if you want to do something to our paragraph tag, just put P, open it, and just go color and red. Okay, save it. You can just size font family, etc. So as you can see here, it's red in color. Okay, so this is what inline CSS does. Sorry, the text was inline CSS. That is not inline CSS. That is, I will change it to internal CSS. Okay, this is what internal CSS does. And suppose you want to change by using ID or class, that can also be done. For example, I will put h1 ID equal to head something H will be the ID. So to change the H1, just put H. So it's going to be as H, okay? Okay, and open it, and here you can change the properties. So you can put color, and so class will be, if you use class instead of ID, you will be referring it by using dot, and for ID you will be using by hash symbol. I will put blue, save it, just go to your web page, refresh it. So as you can see here, it's blue in color. So this is what internal CSS means. And our final thing, I think final property is most widely used, that is our external CSS. And I would say why that is most probably used in many projects, because well, in case if you're doing a very simple project like creating only a one page web page design, you can even complete by using your inline CSS itself. But little bit more complex, even if it's a singular page, you can use it by internal CSS. But if you are writing multiple HTML pages, linking them together, you will have a long lines of code, n number of lines of code, and even if you try to insert your CSS into your HTML code, it looks more shabby and it's very hard to debug in case if you have any error. So for better organization and for better understanding of code, sometimes we have a separate .css file and we access the .css file by referencing it as a heading inside our HTML file. So that property is known as, the type of using CSS is known as external CSS. So now just save it. Okay, now it's back to normal. Okay, so external CSS, for external CSS you need to have a separate CSS file. For that, just create a separate file. Okay, so just go to file, new file. First I will save as. So for the same thing, your HTML file and your CSS file that you are associated should be saved in the same folder. I am saving both of them in the desktop. So my CSS I will name it as, and here save as type is going to be CSS, and just save it. So as you can see here, I've got my CSS.css. So referencing it. So for referencing it, go to here head, and you need to reference it as link. Okay, link rel. Okay, link rel equal to style sheet and href. Href equal to name of our CSS file. So it's my CSS dot CSS. So as you can see, it's auto completing. So that is good. So this is how you refer to your CSS. So link rel style sheet is common, href is also common. This varies according to the name of your CSS file. So link rel style sheet, what is the style sheet? Because CSS stands for cascading style sheet, so that style sheet refers to it. So if you are using JavaScript, it will be script over here. So that's the difference between that. So now how to do, and it's the same thing that you did for internal CSS. So internal CSS and external CSS are pretty much the same. Only the fact that you will be using a separate .css file in external CSS, whereas in internal CSS you will be referring to the code inside a style tag. So that's basically the difference. And same thing over here, just put body, open it, background color, select your wish. I will go with this caded blue, and if you want to do any tag, I'll put P or a paragraph tag. Color, I will go with aqua. Save it. So you need to save both the things. Okay, be careful there. And if you just refresh now, so as you can see, it blue is blue in color, and it is external CSS. Okay, I will change that also. Okay, our external CSS can be seen over here. Okay, external CSS. Okay, so that's it. So I hope you're familiar with inline CSS, internal CSS, external CSS. So that's it for the video. So mine is a programming channel. I've done tutorials in C, C++, Java, Blender, Unity, app development, Flutter, MySQL also. So do check out my video and kindly subscribe and support me. And thanks for watching.